Welcome to the scorching arena of valor and the crucible of courage. This is the Forged in the Fires podcast with Fireman Rob. Here, in the inferno of life's greatest challenges, heroes are shaped and legends are born. Every episode is a torchlight of wisdom, casting a glow on the paths walked by those who've braved the flames and emerged stronger. In this furnace of fortitude, we'll explore tales of resilience, bravery, and the unyielding human spirit. Each guest brings their own spark of insight, lighting up the darkness and guiding us through the smoke of adversity. With Fireman Rob at the helm, prepared to delve into conversations that smolder with significance and stories that kindle the soul. It's not just a podcast, it's a beacon for all who seek to rise from the ashes and glow with purpose. So stoke the fires of your curiosity and ready your heart for tales of triumph and transformation. The flames are roaring. The stage is ablaze. Welcome to the Forged in the Fires podcast. Let the journey begin.
All right, welcome back to Forged in the Fires podcast. I'm your host, Fireman Rob. Today is kind of one of those awkward days because the guy that I have on today, well, this is interesting. He is a firewalk guru. He is the man, the myth, the legend. And you have a fireman interviewing him today. We've got so much to talk about. I don't want to waste time. Dave Albin, thank you so much for joining me today.
Yeah. Hey, Rob. Thanks for having me, man.
Man,
what a match, huh?
I know. What a match. What a match. I'm putting it out. You're putting it on.
I'm lighting it. You're putting it out. I love it, man. It's funny.
Yeah, go ahead, man.
Yeah, I was just going to say, my best friend in life, I grew up in Southern California. His name's Carl Whitaker, and he's a retired divisional chief in LA County, right? And so he did it all. He's a paramedic for 14 years. He was the head of the union. He's the head instructor at El Camino Firefighter Academy. And so I've been busting his chops his whole life about firewalking, and he was like, "Hell no, get away from me. You're out of your mind, right?" Because obviously it goes against everything that a firefighter has ever learned.
Yeah.
And so one day he goes, "All right, you know what? I thought about it. I'm going to do it." And I went, "Really?" He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "But there's one condition." I'm like, "Okay, man, what is it?" He goes, I'll do it as long as I can wear my turnouts. I'm like, "You smart ass."
Oh, man.
Funny, man.
I thought he was going to say I'm going to put it out.
Yeah, right. Well, that was that too.
Yeah.
Right,
Well,
yeah.
I mean, Dave, I want to go back in time and because I'm pretty sure when you came out of the womb, you're like, you know what? I want to be a firewalk expert.
How did you know?
Because your mom would have been so pissed.
She would have been, what? Yeah, absolutely.
How did this start? How did this all start?
Well, I mean, it does. It comes from birth. I mean, because everything that happened up to that point got me to, the whole personal development industry and Alcoholics Anonymous. And so a couple of months before I was born, my biological father, we're not really sure what happened, Rob. We just know he smacked his head somehow. And to save his life, they put a plate in. Well, back in those days, in the 50s,
yeah,
there was a lot of pain associated with that. And he mentioned to mom all the time, he didn't know how much longer he could stand the pain. And 2 months before I was born, he turned to her and said, "Hey, I'm going to the grocery store." And, we never heard from Dad again.
Really?
So I've never seen a picture. I have nothing really to go on other than his name on my certificate of live birth. So I was born to a single mom. She had 2 other boys, different father, different man. She was living in a 1-bedroom apartment in Hollywood, California with her mother, my grandmother, and another cousin. So there were 6 of us living in this 1-bedroom apartment.
Oh, wow.
So mom worked up the street at the Roosevelt Hotel. She had a good job, but you can't feed 6 people on a server's salary. And so by the time I was 5, she realized she just couldn't feed me. And so she went to her older sister, Pat and Bob Albin, who were technically my aunt and uncle. She said, "Hey, will you adopt David?" And Bob and Pat said, "Absolutely."
Oh, that's awesome.
Right. So we moved from Hollywood to Long Beach. Dad was military. He was a highly decorated officer, Army, National Guard. So we had a great job, good income, nice house. It was the perfect lifestyle.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, it was Little House on the Prairie, if you will. Right. And
On the
so
military prairie.
in a military kind of way, right? Dad was working in the Pentagon. We went there to Aberdeen Proving Grounds, for I think I was in third grade when we moved there for a year. Dad was going to school. And so long story short, when I was 11, 6 years later after they adopted me, by the way, they both stopped drinking when they adopted me.
Okay.
On the first day of summer, 1964, I'm up early. It's the first day of summer. You're a kid. You're just like, yo, here we go, right?
Yeah.
And so Mom came and got me, and she brought me in the kitchen. She said, David, come in here. We need to speak with you. And I sat down. She put her hand on my arm, and both got this weird look on their face. And Mom, next thing you know, she tells me, she goes, David, we need to tell you something. And what we need to tell you is we're not your parents.
Oh, jeez.
What? What? What do you mean? Of course you're my parents. That's like walking me outside, looking into the blue sky and go, that's the sky, but it's not blue.
Right.
Looks pretty blue to me. So now I'm dealing with this, you're not my parents. And Mom went on to say, she goes, by the way, your Aunt Dean? Yeah. Which actually, she's your biological mother. And I'm like,
how old were you?
Well, I was 11 years. I was 11 years old.
Oh my God. I can't even think about that. That's hard to even fathom.
Well, I couldn't either. Because now she's telling me that my aunt is my mother. And I'm like, I don't even like her.
Right.
Right. And here's why. Because every time she was around me, she wanted to be around me. She wanted to sit next to me. She wanted to hold me. She wanted to hug me. She wanted to kiss me. Well, duh.
Yeah.
I'm her son. No, right? It was never inappropriate.
That's weird to you.
Yeah. It was just like, this is my very loving, affectionate aunt. Oh, she's your mom, dude. So shortly after they told me this, within like a couple of weeks, both of them started drinking. And things got ugly real fast. Pat was a happy drunk. She was friendly and giggly and she'd pass out at the kitchen table kind of thing. Where Bob, no, not so much. He was mean, real mean, nasty mean, evil mean. And he was only like that when he drank.
Yeah.
Now, so one day they went to the grocery store. And they did that back in the 50s and 60s, right? You could leave your kid at home. Nobody cared. It was okay, right? There's no threat.
Yeah.
You just call the neighbor across the street and say, hey, Joanne, Bob and I are going to the grocery store. Yeah. Dave's home. So if he needs anything, can he, come knock on the door? Yeah, of course. Tell him to come over now. I'll fix him a fried bologna sandwich,
Yeah, with cheese.
With cheese and mustard. So they left, and I knew where the booze was. They were hiding it in plain sight, and I wanted to know what the hell this stuff was. I'm 11, man. I went and got a coffee cup. It was brandy. It was a half gallon of brandy. And I poured about a half a cup, Rob, and boom, down it went. And I never had a chance.
No.
It was like pouring rocket fuel at me. It completely changed everything about me. I mean, it affected me on such a profound level that, again, I believe I was an alcoholic right on the spot.
What did you feel at that time? Do you kind of go back and do you remember, did it just dull everything?
You feel like Superman, when you first do it, right? It's just like roar kind of stuff, right? It affected my nervous system in such a profound way. Well, I started chasing it right there. And by the time I was a junior in high school, they brought me in like at the beginning of the year and brought me into the principal's office and said, Albin, you're out. They expelled me. I was dangerous. Wow. And so, rightfully so, get him out. He's a danger to the school. And I didn't care. I wasn't like I go, oh my gosh, I'm not going to be able to make a living because I didn't finish high school. No, that's not true. I was already an entrepreneur. Back when I was 11, and 10, I had a paper route. So I learned business. You work a paper route 7 days a week.
That's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. You got to get up early. You got to go get your papers. You got to fold them. You got to put them in your saddlebags. You got to load it on your bike. You got to go deliver them. You got to go collect the money. You got to go knock on doors when new people moved in. I mean, it's a full time. You're an entrepreneur full on.
Right.
Well, I also lived across the street from a golf course. And here's what I learned. Here's what I learned about golfers. They suck. I mean that from the standpoint
I can
that,
only imagine where you're going with this right now.
yeah, well,
You're a ball collector.
Yeah, I'd take my Stingray bicycle. I'd ride the perimeter. I'd find these little white things that turned into money.
Yeah.
I'd clean them up. I'd bring them home, clean them up. I'd go back to the golf course and I'd get the boxes out of the trash from the pro shop and I'd clean the balls and I'd display them.
Oh my God.
Like all the Titleist and all the Max Flies and all the Royals and right.
That's
and
unbelievable.
Then I'd go, and you know where I'd go with this? I'd go back to the parking lot and guess what I was doing?
Yeah.
I'm
half price.
These. Yeah, that was making money. I mean, I had money to do stuff, you know.
You're legit entrepreneur.
First 100%. I loved it. And it gets better because it doesn't stop there because mom grew beautiful flowers in the backyard, right? She came out of the Great Depression.
Wow.
Right. You talk about resourceful human beings that got stuff done.
By far. Yeah.
By far. Greatest generation ever. No question about it. And so, you know, in fact, my biological mother was Rosie the Riveter during the war, right? She was working for McDonnell Douglas. She built airplanes.
Wow.
And of course, women built everything. While the men were fighting the war, guess what women were doing?
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah.
This idea that, oh, can women do this or do that? Give me a break.
Yeah.
My God, women can do anything a man can do. You know, so I don't even want to wrestle with
we
that.
won't go down that hole.
No, we won't go down that rabbit hole. I just knew mom was really, you know, both of them were very resourceful.
Yep.
She taught me how to cook, how to clean, how to meet a girl, what to say, what not to say. I mean, she taught me everything. How to iron, you know, how to starch my shirts. I mean, you name it. She taught me how to do it. Well, she grew beautiful flowers in the backyard. And so she would put them in little bouquets, put them in a bucket and send me out on the street corner. And so, but there was something she did that's very, very interesting. When she cut the flower at the bottom, she wouldn't cut it across the bottom. She'd cut it at an angle.
Yeah.
And that opens up more surface area, right? It opens up surface area so water can get into the flower. And then when she would put the water in a bucket, she'd take a bottle of 7-Up and she'd pour about half that bottle in that bucket.
Really?
And it causes the flower to last 2 to 3 times longer than any florist.
Wow.
So I'm out here selling flowers on the street corner that would outlast the florist by a week, sometimes 2 weeks.
Oh my God. You know what? Right. You know what makes me think, Dave, here? Yeah. If 7-Up can make flowers grow, that's kind of scary for my stomach. But keep going.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And it couldn't be Coke. It had to be a clear liquid. It had to be Bubble Up. Or 7-Up back in those days. Sprite wasn't in the picture yet. So you can use Sprite now, by the way, if you want to. Try it. Go get your white flowers, guys. And
right,
you know,
there it is.
Cut them at the bottom. Go put them in a vase, put a little 7-Up in there and watch what happens.
He's not only a firewalk expert, he is a flower guy.
So yeah, you know what I mean? So this is what I learned from that. So the lesson I learned was there's money out there. Go get it.
Yeah.
And so when I got kicked out of high school, I didn't care. It's like, see ya. I'm out of here. I went and got a really good job at a grocery store. It was back then you could join the Retail Clerks Union, which was part of the Teamsters. So within a pretty short amount of time, like a year, I was making $8 and something an hour in 1972.
Jeez, that's a lot.
I went and bought a new Mach 1 Mustang. I had my own apartment and I needed a good job because I also had a drug problem. I was doing a lot of amphetamines. And by the time I was in my high school years, you know, I was doing cocaine and meth amphetamines, I should say. And, you know, anything that made me feel good, you're right. I was doing it. So, and that just, you know, it just got worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. And so to fast forward this to June of 1988, I'm in my third marriage. I'm married to a bartender. Go figure.
Yeah.
She had 3 kids and I loved them. I adored them. And the reason I married her, because I thought maybe having kids would slow me down or cause me to be a better person to change. And I didn't, you know, well, I probably did for about a week.
Yeah.
And then it died down. So on June 8th, 1988, I woke up that morning, Rob, and said, that's it. We're done. I'm out. I'm not doing this anymore. I cannot stand the pain.
Yeah.
The emotional pain, the physical pain is unbearing. I can't bear it anymore. And so the only thought I had in that moment was take my own life and use a pistol. And I loaded it and was ready to go. And all of a sudden it dawns on me, hold on a second. If you pull that trigger, yeah, you may think your problems are over, but what about those 3 kids and your wife? You're going to ruin their life.
Right.
Because the cops are coming, the morgue's coming, the investigators are coming. It's going to permeate through the kids' school. The newspaper's going to be here. And so their problems are just beginning. And so I'm like, you can't do that to them, man. These are great. They're good people, man. Good kids. You can't do that. So you got to come up with another solution. Well, the next thing I thought was, well, call Alcoholics Anonymous.
Yeah.
Well, here's what's interesting about that. I didn't even know who the hell AA was.
Right.
I didn't know anybody in AA. I'd never been to AA. Where did that thought come from? So I did. I called Intergroup, and the next thing I know, I got this woman on the phone. And over the years, I've affectionately nicknamed her Madge. And the reason I did is because she talked like this. He probably smoked 2 packs of Paul Ball non-filters a day, right? And she was a badass.
Oh, that's awesome.
She's a gatekeeper, man. That's her job. Her job was to interview anybody that called. And if you said the right thing, it was also her responsibility to contact somebody that would come pick you up.
Yeah.
In my case, she contacted a guy by the name of Lauren. And Lauren came and got me that morning. And I went to 4 meetings that first day. I went to a 12:30, a 4:30, a 6:30, and an 8:30 meeting. Wow. And man, did those guys, it was an all men's group, by the way. And they jumped all over me. It's called the Stepping Stones Group of Alcoholics Anonymous in Northern Virginia. And holy mackerel. They just grabbed a hold. They knew.
Yeah.
I told them, hey, that morning I had a gun in my hand. Okay, well, this kid's pretty serious. He's bad.
Yeah, he's ready.
He's ready. And so they gave me a medallion, sent me home with a chip that said 24 hours. They also took a big book of Alcoholics Anonymous, and they all signed it. And they wrote their first name and their phone number. And at the top, it said, before you take that first drink, call one of us. Well, when I went home that night, understand, I'm coming off heroin, cocaine, and alcohol all at the same time. And I will tell you, maybe I'm an overachiever there, but I'll tell you what, that's hard.
That's a hard run. Yeah.
Alcohol is bad enough because you can die from delirium tremors, detoxing. And when you throw in hard drugs on top of that, it's almost impossible to make it out of that. And so, I live a life of gratitude every day for every minute, every second, every day that I'm sober. And so it stuck, man. Then they gave me a chip at 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, and 1 year. And I picked up a chip every year since. And I picked up one in 2023 for 35 years. And if I don't drink and I don't die in 2024, I'll get one for 36 years.
Nice job, Dave.
Thanks,
nice
man.
job. That's impressive. I want to ask you a question though, because I think a lot of people sometimes don't understand what the pain of wanting to stop means, what it feels like. Can you go back to that and kind of explain that a little? Because it's such a huge thing. I've been there. And I know that you're doing amazing things for veterans and first responders, but I think sometimes we get so far down the path that we don't see that pain is just continuing and mounting and mounting. And what does it feel like when you get to that point of wanting to stop?
Well, I think from a behavioral, psychological standpoint, we'll do more to avoid pain than we will to gain pleasure.
Right.
So that was threshold for me. The pain was excruciating. And I just wanted it to stop. And so that, it was like, okay, well then do that. Well, no, if I do that, I ruin their lives. I can't do that.
Yeah.
And so, it was like, okay, well, call AA.
Yeah.
Well, honestly, I didn't think that it would work, except that I came home that night and didn't have a drink.
That was painful though. Right.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It was excruciating for the first year.
How's this humility though, too? That's humility.
Oh gosh. Yeah. Absolutely. Being humble and practicing some humility in my life was like, what's that?
Yeah.
Because everything in my life was based on fear. Every decision I made was based on fear.
That's a huge fact. Yeah.
Right. And fear. And what did fear mean to me at that moment in those days? It meant forget everything and run.
Yeah.
So that was my mindset. So when I was getting sober, I had insomnia. And so I was up late at night all the time. And I'm up one night, and there he is, 1988, Mr. Enthusiasm. A young Tony Robbins is selling his personal power program, which he called a 30-day program for total success, he called it.
Yeah.
And I did not like his pompous ass at all. I thought he was arrogant. I thought he's all motivated and encouraging, and I'm not. I'm miserable, and I wanted to waller with somebody that was miserable too. And Tony wasn't having any of it. And so he said two things that got me, though. He said what I said earlier. He said, we'll do more to avoid pain than we will to gain pleasure. And I went, oh, my gosh, that's it. You nailed me, dude, because that's what I was drinking and drugging. Yeah. I was either running from pain or I was trying to chase a little bit of pleasure.
Right.
And I would do more to avoid the pain than I would to gain the pleasure. So I'm like, okay, I get it. All right. Obviously, he's talking to me. And then what really got me, what he said was, the driving force in our life, how do humans make decisions? Well, we make them one of two ways. We make them out of inspiration or desperation.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hey, I'm pretty desperate. Maybe I should listen to this clown.
Yeah. Is he talking to me?
I swear to God, it's funny you say that because I knew he was talking to me.
Yeah.
I'm like, how did he know? So I bought his program.
Nice.
And they sent it to me, and it was a big box. It came in.
Yeah.
And it came with these little white things called cassette tapes.
Wait. A cassette tape? Did you have to press play and stop and
stop and go? And there's two sides, and
you could rewind it with your finger.
You could, Well, you needed a pencil or a pen or a big pen to rewind it, right? Because it'd get all flustered inside your recorder. And if your listening audience doesn't know, if you go to the Smithsonian, they're right next to 8-track and reel-to-reels. Right. So anyway, I plugged them in and did what the man told me to do, and it worked.
Wow.
It literally worked. And I started making massive changes.
Yeah.
Well, one of my buddies in AA is like, what are you doing, man? What's wrong with you? It's like, why are you always motivated, all the time? Like, I don't know, man. I'm listening to this guy named Tony Robbins. And he goes, hey, man, I know who Tony is. I bought his book.
Yeah.
He goes, but I never read it. And I go, well, how often does that show up in your life? Right. So I said, look, man, I'll loan you my program if you promise me you'll go through it. He said, done. And I did. It was my buddy, Dan the Butcher, Dan Capabianco. And I want to say his name there because I just lost Dan about 3 weeks ago.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. But man, not for him. I'm not here on the Forged in the Fire podcast.
Yeah,
right?
there you go.
Right. So I love the man. In fact, I just had a conversation with his daughter yesterday. We're gonna create a YouTube video about his life, and we're gonna do pictures. Awesome. So we're gonna do a tribute to him. And so I loaned it to him. Right. Well, 7 years later, 1995, Dan calls me on the phone, and he said, "Hey, man, did you know that Tony Robbins is coming to town?" I'm like, "No, I had no idea." He goes, "Dude, you got me into this. Come on, man, please go with me." And I said, Dan, I'll go. Let's check the dates. Yeah, okay, I can go. He goes, fantastic. He goes, I'm going to call you right back. I'm going to go take care of all the arrangements. Okay. He calls me back an hour later. He goes, done. We pick up the tickets at will call. Here's what they told us to do. Number one, drink a lot of water. You must stay hydrated throughout this 4-day event. Okay. Number two, bring snacks. And the reason you need snacks is you are going to spend a lot of time in the room. And I'm laughing because anybody that's ever been to a Robbins event knows what I'm laughing about. It's an understatement to think you're going to spend a lot of time in the room with Tony.
Yeah.
And then he said, bring a good attitude and be ready to play full out. I said, okay, how much was the ticket? And he said, $695. You can pay me back. And I went, what? $700 in 1995?
Yeah.
Why
don't I buy a car?
What does that equate to today? I don't know, 1.1, 1.2 million. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Way right? Too much. Yeah.
Buy Bitcoin.
Crazy.
Yeah, crazy. So, and just as he's getting ready to get off the phone, he goes, oh, wait, I got to tell you the most important part. Okay, what's that? We're going to be doing a fire walk. And I'm like, my brain is going, now I'm not saying anything, but my brain went, oh, hell no. I don't know what a fire walk is. I don't know what that means, but I'm not doing it.
Right.
Because the word fire and the word walk.
And I'm paying $700.
And I paid $700 to what? I don't know what it is. I have no references for that, but it doesn't sound like anything I'm going to be doing, but I'm not saying anything to Dan. I'm just going, yeah, I'm being a yes man. Yeah, Dan, sure. Yeah, great. Yeah, sounds awesome. Great. All right, see you then.
I love it.
The big day comes. Tony takes the stage at 2:00 in the afternoon. And the next thing Dan and I know is after midnight. Yep. Remember, bring snacks. You'll starve to death.
Yep.
10 hours later, after midnight, all of a sudden, Tony goes, take your shoes off. I'm like, oh no, kiss my grits, pal. I'm not doing that. I know where you're going with that one. You ain't tricking me. Well, I got a big dilemma. I'm in a room with 3,500 people.
Yeah.
And guess what they're doing?
They're taking their shoes off.
They're taking their damn shoes off. What's wrong with these people? Are you out of your mind? Did you fall for it? Don't go towards the light, right? So now what am I going to do? Towards the fire, you're saying. Right. Don't go towards the fire, right? So what am I going to do? Not take my shoes off and walk out there and everybody know that I'm a coward?
Right.
Can't have that. So I'm like, just chill out. Take your shoes off. And when you get out there, ditch Dan and go hide in the back somewhere. There's 3,500 people. It's really easy to get lost there. So that's my strategy. Well, the challenge is when he's got everybody going out into this big giant parking lot where this firewalk's going to take place. He's got everybody clapping and chanting. So now you got 3,500 people going, yes, right? And I'm walking out there going, no, ain't going to happen. It gets worse.
Oh, man.
Because when you get out there, he's got African drummers. So now you've got the beat and the thunder and a dun, 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 dun. And I'm thinking, and man, I'm telling you.
It's getting in your soul. Come on.
It's a dog and pony show unlike anything you've ever seen, man. And then over in the corner, right, in this big parking lot, how do you walk 3,500 people? Well, they start off in the, like when Tony took the stage, they light a big fire.
Yeah.
At like 2:00 in the afternoon. And they build a pit. And they build it out of grass and they put Wonder Board under it, to protect the surface, all that. And that pit's probably 70 feet long. And they just add hardwood to it all day. Cord after cord after cord after cord of wood. Yeah. And 10 hours later, you know what happens? It renders. There it is. Big, giant, beautiful blue flame pile of coals. So what do? They take wheelbarrows over there and they load the coals into a wheelbarrow. Then they bring a wheelbarrow and they build 2 lanes of sod, what's called a fire lane, on each side of that wheelbarrow.
Okay.
So a fire lane is, 3 feet wide, maybe 18 feet long. And then they just take a flathead shovel and they sprinkle the coals on top of that grass. And that's what you physically walk on. Well, I'm in the back. I'm hiding out. Now, here's what Tony Robbins knows. Why did one of the top behavioral experts in the world bring firewalking into his events? Because he knows it's one of the most powerful experiences any human will go through. The paradigm shift and the way it shifts your thinking and your belief is instant. He also knows there's people like me that are going to hide in the back.
Yeah.
So what's he do? He trains people to come find you. So I'm back there thinking I got it all figured out, right? Yeah. Nope, not so much. Here comes this guy. Makes eye contact with me, won't take his eyes off me, which I'm pretty sure he was trained to do that.
Yeah.
He gets maybe 20 feet from me. And all of a sudden he looks at me like a dog that hears a funny noise. How you twist your head from side to side, right?
It's a dog whistle.
Right. It's like a dog whistle. And he looks at me and he goes, hey, man, are you okay? And when we're not okay, what do we do? What do we say?
Yeah.
Yeah, we lie. Oh, I'm good. Yeah, nothing to see here, pal. Move along. Yeah. We're good.
Yeah. And
he said, so, hey, man, you going to walk tonight? And I'm like, absolutely not. It's like, do you have no idea why I'm hiding in the back here?
Yeah.
And so here's this stranger. By the way, I don't know who this guy is today, Rob. I don't know.
Really?
But he changed my life. And he's put me in a position to change tens of thousands of people's lives.
Right.
And the question he asked me was, well, wouldn't you at least like to watch? And I'm thinking, well, okay, sure. Yeah, I'll do that. Yeah, let's go watch these people burn their feet off. That should be entertaining. But he goes, well, look, man, you can't see anything from where you are. Oh. I'm standing back. I got 3,500 people in front of me. I can't see a darn thing. Yeah. I can hear it. The drums are going. They're chanting. They're clapping.
Doom, 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 doom,
Doom, doom, doom, doom. People are already walking and they're screaming. They're just jumping up and down with exhilaration. That's happening now.
Yeah.
So he goes, look, man, just get in line and eventually you'll get up there. You'll be able to see. Well, I took the bait. And in his defense, he was right. I couldn't see anything. I was going to have to get up closer.
Yeah.
So I did. I got in line and I'm walking along and I'm walking along. And all of a sudden another stranger comes up to me. Different guy. And he whispers in my ear. And he says, he knows when you're ready. When he says go, you go. And then this guy just disappeared into the night. And I'm like, what? Who was that? What do you mean he knows when you're ready? When he says go, you go. So now I'm dealing with that. And then as I'm walking along, all of a sudden I get to a point. I still can't see in front of me because I got 1,000 people in front of me. But I can see at an angle because they have all these fire lanes, right? So you can see down the road, if you will. And Rob, they're doing it. Every race, every creed, every color, they're firewalking. And I'm going, what's wrong with these people? We're mammals. We're taught that we're programmed to run from fire, not walk on it. Right? Can you relate?
I can relate.
Rob the fireman, for God's sake. So
yeah, it doesn't make sense.
So now I'm staring at it, right? It's like a car wreck. Yeah, you're not supposed to look at it. Well, I'm staring at it. And my focus is there, and I'm in total disbelief. I'm just like I'm in a trance, and I'm not really paying attention to what's happening in front of me. I'm just moving along, and all of a sudden, bingo! Guess where I am?
Welcome to the front of the line.
I'm at the front of the line, and I am looking down at that fire lane. That's 3 feet wide, 18 feet long, and it's covered with coals. They're bright red. It's not a question. Oh, are they hot? Well, you think? There's a wheelbarrow there. You can feel the heat coming off that.
Yeah.
And so I'm staring into the abyss. I'm scared to death. My heart's beating so hard. I know it's going to jump out of my chest. And there's a trainer standing there. And all of a sudden the trainer goes, eyes up. As if to say, you idiot, did you not pay any attention when you were in the room with Tony for 10 hours?
No, I did bring snacks.
What's he teach you to do? Keep your eyes up.
Oh,
don't stare at what you fear.
Yeah.
There's a celebration end right over there. Keep your eyes on that. Right? Because everything you've ever wanted is sitting right over there on the other side of fear. Keep your eyes on that. So now my eyes are up and he goes, squeeze your fist and say yes. And I went, yes. And he went, stronger. And I went, yes. Threw my hands in the air. Well, he could tell.
Yeah.
I was not in a peak state. I was leaving a lot on the table and he knew it. And so now he gets on my face and screams at me. So now I'm pissed. I threw my hands in the air and I screamed as loud as I could. Yes. And he goes, go, go, go. Boom. I took off.
Yeah.
You remember the guy? He knows when you're ready. When he says, go, you go. I went. Well, they catch you. They put 2 people at the end. They lock arms. They catch you. They're like, stop, wipe your feet and celebrate. And I'm wiping my feet. And all of a sudden I go, oh my gosh, I burnt myself really bad. Yeah. And I look at my foot. It's dirty. But Rob, there's no burns. Oh, it's my other foot. Nope. It's dirty too. There's no burns. Huh. I just walked on coals that were 1,000 degrees and I didn't burn myself and I didn't have a clue how I did it, but I did it.
Yeah.
Right. I think most people have done that. You do something really cool, really awesome, but you're not really sure how you did it.
Oh, yeah.
But you take credit for it.
Right.
You're like, yeah, that's right. I'm that guy. I did that. Well, here's the first thing I really learned about firewalking. When you take the first step, oh, you'll take the second, third, fourth, and fifth. I promise you that. Right? You're not going to stand there.
Yes.
Well, it's exhilarating. It was unlike anything I'd ever experienced in my life. I'm jumping up and down. I'm celebrating like a kid at Christmas. And I'm doing it collectively because I got 3,000 people down there and we're all jumping up and down and celebrating like kids at Christmas.
Wow.
And it's unbelievable because in that moment, your self-belief, your self-confidence, and your self-worth all rise with the experience.
Yeah.
And so now, again, there's a mindset collectively. Well, I'm at that point, I'm like, okay, I can do anything now.
Yeah.
Let's get on the bus. Let's go climb Everest. Well, here's where it gets really interesting. So was the next day. Right? Because this is a 4-day event. That was day 1, the night thereof. Now we're at day 2. And now 3,500 people are standing in the foyer getting ready to go into the venue for day 2 with Tony. And to this day, I've never seen or witnessed anything like it in my entire life. It was one of the most beautiful things I'd ever experienced because I'm sitting back and I'm watching people connect.
Yeah.
And they're laughing and they're crying and they're hugging again. And they're talking about their fears and they're talking about the firewalk. To stand in the middle of 3,500 people while all that's going on is beyond magical, because this is the way human beings are supposed to get along.
Right.
And so to be in the middle of all that is just such a beautiful, beautiful experience. Well, later on in the event, I met one of Tony's trainers, a guy by the name of Ted Macy. Super, super guy, love him to death. Him and his wife, Mary, were both trainers. And so I'm just talking to Ted, really cool guy, got this big old handlebar mustache, just a really fascinating dude. And I go, so you get to come play in this environment on a regular basis, don't you? He goes, I sure do. And he goes, and you should too if you get a chance. And I go, what do you mean? He goes, you see all those people standing over there with the black shirts with the pink writing on them? I'm like, yeah. He goes, dude, they're volunteers. They're people just like you. They came to an event. They called Robbins Research. They sent them an application. They filled it out and they got chosen. So when you go home, do it. Call Robbins Research. Tell them you want a volunteer crew application. Fill it out. Send it back. Who knows? Well, I did it. And 9 weeks later, I got a letter in the mail almost to the day that I sent it. And it said, Dave Albin, congratulations. You've been selected to crew with the Anthony Robbins companies.
No kidding.
Whoa. So there I am. I'm in the door.
Right.
And so, the application, they ask a lot of questions. They ask, all kinds of things, right? Well, they saw that I had a military background. They saw that I had a security background. They said, oh, well, guess what? We can put him on the security detail to help take care of Tony's celebrities. Yeah. Well, that's a whole podcast in and of itself. That was unbelievable.
Well, let me mark that down.
Mark that down, right? Another podcast.
Dave too.
Dave too. And then I lived on a farm. So I knew what a log splitter was, had one, know how to use it, know how to use an axe, know what kindling is, know what hardwood is. Right. I know the difference between oak and hickory. So they put me on the fire team, which is exactly what I wanted. Boom. And so from there, I crewed, I don't know, 5 or 6 times, and I was paying my own way. So, I'm spending $1,500 every time I go to a Tony Robbins event. My wife's going, can we talk about this for a minute? $1,500 every time you go. Who the hell was this Tony Robbins guy? She doesn't know. Yeah. She didn't go through the program. She didn't
walk on fire.
Yeah. She's like, you drank Kool-Aid, dude. I'm going, yeah, actually I did.
Yeah.
And so then shortly after that, they offered me a subcontractor's position. Wow. So they paid me to go, and they paid my way, and they paid all my expenses per diem and all that. And they did something really smart. They gave me a ticket for her. So I brought her.
It's genius. Yeah.
Yep. And she went. And when she graduated, we're walking on the beach that night. I'll never forget it. Beautiful night, Fort Lauderdale on the beach. And she goes, okay, I get it. You're good. I drink the Kool-Aid too. This guy's amazing. If you want to run with this dude, go ahead.
Right.
As long as they're paying.
As long as,
all day long.
Yeah. As long as we're not paying anymore.
As long as we're not paying for it. And so that was all happening because I went in 95. I think she went in 96. By that time, I'm a subcontractor. And then in 2003, my life was forever influenced and changed. Tony offered me the fire captain position.
Wow.
Meaning that I was in charge of all of Tony's firewalks globally. Well, at the same time that was happening, I told him that I got a conflict here because we homeschool our kids. And they said, no problem. Tony wants you. He'll pay to have your family travel with us. And I went, okay. In fact, my first event with as the captain and taking the kids, it was Sydney, Australia. So my kids got to travel around the world with their dad. Poor Dave, poor kids. What a horrible thing. Pray for us, please.
But you worked your ass off for it. That's what I loved. I mean, that's what I love about this story is that it wasn't something that was like, hey, I got to do this, or it wasn't like there was no straightforward firewalk for you. Like you said, it was 70 feet straight, but yours was literally like jagged turns uphill. If you think about the firewalk of your life, it was not straight, but you got there.
Right. And, I look back and go, and it's interesting you say that because here's what I believe. I believe that the 2 most important times in somebody's life is the moment they're born and the moment they figure out why. Huh. So because AA and the personal development industry collided in my life at the same time. That was really magical.
Yeah.
Because in AA, I learned how to live the 12 steps show you how to put your life back together.
Yeah.
The 12 traditions show you how to operate within the group. Well, in the middle, there's this thing called the preamble. And the preamble says, when anyone anywhere reaches out, I want the hand of AA to be there. And for that, I'm responsible. Well, I took that to heart. Because when I walked through that door, they grabbed a hold of me and they took me out to lunch and they came and picked me up and they took me to meetings and they made sure I got a sponsor. They made sure I was working the steps. They got me involved in going to institution meetings. And, I was all in. I was 100% all in. And so that just kind of spilled over into the personal development industry. Here I have this skill, if you will, or it's developing skill, how to change somebody's life in 4 seconds. Long lasting change. Firewalking's been around 1,000 years, Rob. It's not like it's new. It may be new to the Western culture, and Tony has used it to create these incredible events. But cultures all around the world have been using firewalking forever. The Tahitians, the people of India. Oh my gosh, people of India use it for a whole host of things. Graduations, from a boy to manhood, for a girl into womanhood, the birth of a child, a marriage, a whole bunch of stuff. And they really celebrate it. And again, it's a rite of passage, which we've lost in the U.S. We don't have rites of passages in the U.S. anymore. So this becomes a rite of passage. So the bottom line is there I am traveling around the world, changing people's lives on a grand scale. So we went to London, and that was in 2003, right? 2005, we went to London. That's where we set the world record.
I saw that. Yes.
12,300 people. Wow. And by the way, I say world record. I do want to disclose to your audience that Guinness Book of World Records was not there.
Yeah,
however,
it doesn't matter.
Yeah, there's never been a firewalk 12,000 people anywhere in the world.
No.
The only thing's close is another Tony Robbins seminar, maybe 10 grand.
Yeah.
Something like that, right? So that happened in 2005. And then 2014, my life forever changed again. I'm driving down the road, my phone rings, and it's Google. Hi, this is Google. Are you the Dave Albin that does the firewalks for Tony Robbins? Yeah, what can I do for you? Well, if you're not under any contractual obligation or non-compete, we'd like to talk to you about hiring. I'm like, oh, okay, well, homeboy's a free agent. What you got? And next thing I know, I'm being hired by Google. In fact, what happened there, they had 148 executives that had been through a really intense 9-month curriculum. And Google and the University of North Carolina designed the curriculum. So they know what a paradigm shift is. They know what a corporate team building exercise looked like. They wanted a firewalk very specifically. Well, what did Google know that the rest of the world didn't or had to learn? Right? Corporate America, most CEOs and business owners, entrepreneurs, they know that what doesn't challenge you doesn't change you. It has to be a profound experience that shakes up your central nervous system. And obviously the firewalk does that.
Yeah.
So the challenge we had is they wanted to do it in the middle of the day. And I said, well, we can't do a firewalk in the middle of the day. We're going to have to do it at night. And they said, well, our schedule doesn't allow that. I said, well, I'll tell you what we could do. We could do a glass walk. They go, what? You mean like walking on broken glass? I'm like, yeah. They're like, ooh, tell us about that. Okay. So that's what we did. We did the glass walk. In fact, I did 2 of them back to back for Google the following year. In fact, the other interesting part is I spent some time with one of the Google executives, and she told me straight up, she goes, look, Dave, I'm going to share something with you and you can do whatever you want. But if I were in your shoes, I'd start my own company. She goes, I'm going to tell you right now, corporate America will be all over you.
Yeah.
Because this is such a profound experience. We came and found you because we wanted a profound experience. So, do what you do as you may, but you may want to think about it. So I'm sitting there and Google is telling me to start Firewalk Productions.
Wait, Google, the Google, I don't know something. Let me find Google.
Yeah. What is it that they don't know? Nothing.
Yeah, nothing.
So if they know this is a powerful experience and they want it for their own executives, maybe, just maybe, corporate America could use the same experience. And instead of me doing a firewalk Tony Robbins style, I could do it XYZ Corporation style. Tell me what you want, and I'll design the firewalk around you and your company and your vision and your mission statement. Yeah. Let's roll.
Jeez.
And so that's what we did she was right. Because
Yeah.
right after Google, I was at NASA. And then I went to Notre Dame and Virginia Tech and Remax and Chick-fil-A and Microsoft and Heineken. I mean,
The whole gamut.
the whole thing.
Yeah.
YMCA. I mean, high schools. Nobody cares, right?
No.
The experience will affect a kid or an adult, doesn't matter.
Right.
Right. So, my little community I lived in, I've done a bunch of stuff here locally for kids. And so,
awesome.
no pun intended, but we've been going hot and heavy ever since 2014.
Oh, it's totally pun intended. Don't go there.
Yeah, right. It's fully pun intended, right? And so along the way, a couple of years ago, a buddy of mine said, hey, you ought to start an academy so people can send their people and you train them, and then they can go back in their own companies and their own communities and facilitate these life-changing experiences. I went, wow, you know what? Let's do that. This last October, we just graduated 11. So they come up here to the Appalachian Mountains where I live in the northwestern part of the state of North Carolina. And it's an intensive. They're here for 5.5 days with me. And when they go home, they're ready to go.
Wow.
And then, as we were talking earlier, a couple of months ago, I was on a podcast, and after we recorded, we were talking, and Natalia asked me a question. She said, have you ever done a firewalk for veterans? And I said, you mean specifically? And she said, yeah.
That's
and I go,
awesome.
no, why? She goes, man, we've got 200 vets coming to an event, and we would love for you to come create this paradigm shift experience and help save these men and women's lives. Because, the number on the streets for veterans is 22 a day are taking their lives. However, that's not true. It's not even close.
Not even close. Not even
I don't
close.
know what, because that's only if they leave a note. Well,
right. Or they're a veteran.
Yeah, exactly. So there's so many factors in there. We know it's way over 40 a day. Yeah. 40 a day are taking their lives, men and women. So I'm like, so Dave, can you help slow that down or stop it? Well, yeah, I can. I know quite a bit about the personal development industry and why people do what they do or why people don't do what they're supposed to do.
Right.
And the vets lose purpose. Right. They get deployed. Exactly. They see horrendous stuff. They work together as a team, as a unit. There's incredible camaraderie between, keeping each other alive. And then you come home and it all goes away. You get fragmented. Those people you were sleeping with and hanging out with and, moved together as a unit are now gone.
Yeah.
Your purpose drops. And when your purpose drops, depression sets in because you don't know what to do. You don't know how to reinstall it. And so next thing you know, they're reaching for some substance. And the next thing you know, we lose them. So I'm like, okay, well, let's bring them to Dave. What can we do? Can we create a firewalk specifically designed for veterans? Yeah. Well, wait a minute. So there's some other categories out here too that could use help.
Yeah.
And that would be first responders.
Hey, yes. Right? Here.
Here we are. Here's Rob. He's a firefighter. Guess what? Does he know that firefighters take their lives so this when they retire?
Yeah,
they sure do.
Yep.
What about single moms?
Right. And you know that.
Right. I was born to a single mom. That speaks to my heart. Yeah, I'm good with that. What about kids that are bullied and neglected?
Right. They need the power.
They need purpose. That's all we need.
Purpose.
Why do you give a vet a dog, a service dog?
Yeah.
Because it's purpose. They got to take care of the dog.
Yeah.
So it takes them outside of themselves and they learn to live from inside out rather than outside in. And when that shift happens, it creates a wonderful life.
Dave, I can't hear any passion in your voice.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Well, I feel totally obligated, man. I'm like, my life was given back to me. AA taught me, hey, dude, help another alcoholic achieve sobriety. That's your mission.
Yeah.
And that's why AA is so successful, because you have that. And then, the idea of creating Operation Do No Harm. That came to me the night after I had that conversation about the vets. And then I got it. It's like, well, we need to create a nonprofit. And so now a company can come in and hire us for two different purposes. One, you can hire us to come do an event for you and your company and your people.
Yep.
And at the same time, you want to bring an event to your city and make your brand look really, really good.
Yep.
You can hire us for that. And it's a write-off. So, when you put your brand out in front of something and you save 300 vets' lives, you know what that does for your company? It
Yeah.
makes, not only does it make you look good, but it makes your people feel good.
Yeah.
Look at what we did. Look what my
Higher
company
purpose.
did. They feel proud.
Yeah.
They feel connected, like they're really doing something, for the community and for these men and women at large. So, in a nutshell, that's kind of where we are.
Man, that's I love the aspect of the transition of your life into where it is now. And you know for you to take that and go, I need to give back. Do you see that power, that, like, you were talking about AA and the power of AA, but it's I see it more as the power of the people that come out and are like you, who give back after that. What do you feel from that ability to be able to give back to those who are struggling, those who are going through their silent battles? What does that mean to you to be able to give back because you know what they're going through right now?
It's everything.
Yeah.
I believe if you help enough people get what they want in life, you'll always get what you want.
Yeah.
There's a really hard lesson in the world, and that is, again, it's back to living from outside in versus inside out. Outside in means, oh, hey, if I get that new car, that new house, and that new girlfriend or whatever, if I get whatever that is on the outside, I'll be happy. Tell them what they're not going to win, Bob.
Yeah.
Not going to happen.
Yeah.
So you have to learn how to live from the inside out.
Yeah.
And it's not based on money. Now, I'm not saying money doesn't help.
But it's not the end all.
I think, who was it? Zig Ziglar might have said it ranks right up there with oxygen. Okay.
Yeah.
There's some truth to that.
But I can hold my breath.
Yeah, right. But at the end of the day, what it's like to, work with somebody who comes into AA and, a year later, they're back with their kids and their wife loves them again. And they become good, solid people in their community. And they now too understand that creed of, when anyone anywhere reaches out, I want the hand of AA to be there. And for that, you and I are responsible.
Yeah.
So that clicks.
Yeah.
And so again, this other part is, I know that firewalk can change somebody's life in 4 seconds.
Right.
And I say that because I've seen it tens of thousands of times.
Right.
In fact, if you want to actually see it for yourself live, go Google Oprah's firewalk.
Oh, yeah. I've seen that one.
Right?
Yeah.
You'll see her before. She's
Yeah.
losing her shit.
Yeah.
She does not want to do this. And Sherry's there with her, which I believe was in charge of Harpo at the time. And Sherry's going, come on, Oprah, we need to do this. Tony's not going to let us get hurt.
Yeah.
And because Oprah's going, well, we have to be in Africa here, and we're recording this, we're doing that. And so she's just looking for, the saying, if you really want to do something in life, one of two things is going to happen. You'll either find a way or you'll find an excuse.
Yep.
It's true. Henry Ford said it.
Mm-hmm.
If you think you can or you think you can't, guess what?
You're
right. So there you are, right? So, And then all of a sudden there's this moment. And Tony says to her, he said, come on, Oprah, what's the worst that can happen here? Burn your feet off and die? Come on, I'm not going to let you get hurt. And that's really all the encouragement she needed. And then she walks. Well, when she gets to the celebration end, I thought she was going to pee her pants, literally. She's losing her shit. She is jumping up and down like a kid. She's exhilarated. She's excited. By the way, that's very common. I see it I've seen it tens of thousands of times. So I know not only have I felt it myself, but I've watched my family and my friends who have gone to these events and done the firewalks with us.
Yeah.
They're super, super, super excited, because in that moment, what you're saying to yourself is, if I can walk on fire that's 1,000 degrees and not burn myself, what else can I do? So Oprah, when she does it, the cameras go with her. She walks over and she can tell she is just in such a incredible peak state. She starts talking about the experience, and she makes one of the biggest business decisions of her life. She creates what she called the next chapter. And so I try to do something similar in my seminars.
Yeah.
When I'm talking on stage, I put a picture of a guy behind me on the screen.
Yeah.
And it's my buddy Eric. And he's standing in a location that most people would recognize where he's standing. So I'll be talking for 20 minutes or so, and I'll say, hey, by the way, who here can tell me where my buddy Eric, I'm pointing to the screen, is standing? And somebody inevitably always yells out, Mount Everest. And I'll say, that's correct. And let me tell you something about Eric. He's climbed the 7 highest mountains on 7 continents, and he got to the summit of every single one of them. What you're seeing here is Everest. And by the way, put the boy on a mountain bike, he'll tear it up. Put him in a kayak, guess what? He could probably navigate any river on earth. But here's something that you don't know about Eric. He's blind. So I don't want to hear your bullshit.
Wow.
Anytime you tell yourself you can't do something, you remember Eric. I am specifically showing you this and telling you this so it screws with you for the rest of your life.
Wow.
I don't, and because then I'll ask him, so why don't people get what they want in life? Well, it's real simple. There's a story you tell yourself why you can't have it. I'm too young. I'm too old. I don't have the time. Which, by the way, saying you don't have a time, if you ever catch yourself saying that, it's a lie.
Right.
You know it's a lie.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
We have time for anything we're committed to, period.
Right.
No, I don't have the education. I don't have the background. I don't have the resources. I don't have the money. No, that's a story. Huh. And so, you know, you have to find your purpose, man. Yeah. You know, my mentor said something to me a long time ago, Rob, and I've never forgot it. And it was, he said, listen, man, every single human on this planet has 2 lives. And the second one starts when you realize you have only one. So let that one sink in, right?
Yeah, no kidding.
And the bottom line is, you know, I think Viktor Frankl left us one of the greatest messages that any human on the planet has ever experienced. Viktor Frankl, if you don't know, he wrote a book called Man's Search for Meaning. Get the book, buy it, read it. It's not an easy read. I'm going to warn you right up front.
Yeah.
But if you get through that book, it's going to enlighten you like you wouldn't believe. Because the bottom line is, Viktor was in Auschwitz. Oh, geez. And they killed his family. Every single minute, every second that you're there, you don't know if it's going to be your last minute because you don't know when it's your turn to be picked to go into the chambers to die. You'd be standing outside naked. It's cold. No food, no dignity, nothing. They took everything from you. And you lived with thinking you were going to die any minute, which is, imagine the stress of that. Jeez. But there was one thing, what Viktor figured out. He said, you know, there's one thing you can't take from me, and that's my attitude. I have to give it to you. I have to relinquish my attitude, and I'm not doing it. Wow. So what Viktor did was he developed his own purpose to be there, and that was when I get out of here, I'm going to tell this story.
Jeez.
And that's what he did.
Unreal.
So same thing, right? You want to change your life? It's real simple. Change your story.
Right. I love it.
Yeah, man.
Make sure you go to firewalkadventures.com. Obviously, Dave has so much experience. You have your message, man. I got chills over here. So I appreciate every single minute that you've given me today.
Thanks, brother.
I always end with 3 questions. Are you ready for those questions? You're walking through the fire with Fireman Rob right now.
Understood.
You ready?
Let's do it, man.
Okay, don't go to the end of the pack. You gotta step up.
Understood.
All right, you go back to your 18-year-old self and give yourself one piece of advice. What is that going to be?
You know, I don't know that I would tell myself anything.
I love that.
Because if I did, then it would alter where I wouldn't be here right now, right? One thing can change the complete trajectory of your life in the path that you're on. So
yeah,
it's tempting. Oh, you know, don't drink alcohol. Well, wait a minute. Without that, I'm not here, right? Well, don't do drugs. Well, wait a minute. Without that, you know, don't do this, don't do that.
Yeah.
You know, again,
that's profound.
It's been divine.
Yeah.
My purpose has been divine, so I wouldn't be here. So I'm just going to hit the pause button on saying anything to myself.
I love that. I love that. All right, here's the second one. Everybody's going through challenges and struggles in their life. If you could give them 2 habits to incorporate into their daily life to continue to walk forward, to continue to live forward, what would those 2 things be?
Well, I'll take 2 from what I do every morning. One of them is do deep diaphragmatic breathing.
Okay.
So every morning when the sun comes up, that sunlight for the first 45 minutes is extremely good for you. There's no harmful rays. There's no UV rays, none of that. And if you get that sunlight on your upper torso and your upper body, it's super good for you. It's just full of vitamin D3. And if you research vitamin D3, anybody that died of COVID was vitamin D deficient. Anybody that had high levels of vitamin D in their body lived. So
Right.
I'll just throw that on the table. The other thing, the diaphragmatic breathing. So that just means that I get out in that sun for 9 minutes, and I do 3 sets of 30 deep diaphragmatic breaths. At the end of the 30, I hold my breath until I can't. And so what am I doing is I'm oxygenating my body at a very high level. I'll get dizzy, my fingers and toes get tingly, and that's oxygen. It's really super good for you, because here's something that you need to know. Where oxygen is present, disease is absent.
Huh.
Let me say that a little louder for the people in the back. Where oxygen is present, disease is absent. Let me say this.
Yeah.
Cancer cannot survive in an oxygenated environment.
Huh.
And by the way, both of those things that I'm sharing with you are free. Won't cost you a thing. Now, once I've done that, Rob, I go over on the other side of my house and I do grounding. I do earthing.
Okay.
So I just put my feet on the grass for 9 minutes. And you can research that. There's all kinds of peer reviews. They know. They can tell you. We're pieces of electricity. Our body is just full of electricity. Everything communicates.
Right.
And so we're supposed to connect to the planet. It's super, super, super good for you. Man. Now I can tell you a couple other things. I come in after that. I do my meditation. I read 10 pages of a good book every day.
Every day.
Do that one.
Yeah.
Read 10 pages in a good book every day. How many times 10 times 365? How many books is that a year?
Yeah. That's too much math for a fireman.
Well, that's 300, 3,650, right? So that's 10 really good books in a year. You think if you read 10 really good books that would influence you?
Yeah.
Yeah, it just might. Yeah. It just might. And then, of course, after I have my sound therapy that I do, but then I take a really hot shower, and then I finish it with a cold shower.
Right. 3
minutes. I live up here in the mountains. I have mountain water coming into my home, and the temperature right now of my water is 56 degrees. Go stand in a shower for 3 minutes with 56 degree.
Love that.
Oh, it's so good for you, man.
Yeah.
And by the way, I was on a podcast the other day, and John asked me, he said, "Hey, man, does it get easier?" I'm like, Nope. Nope. It's not made to get easy, because here's the other part.
Everybody
if you do the things that are hard in life, life becomes easier.
Yeah.
If you do the things that are easy in life, life's going to become hard. Because again, everything you've ever wanted is sitting right over there on the other side of your comfort zone. By the way, I'm going to be 70 this year. Guess how many medications I'm on?
Zero.
I chose not to do business with Big Pharma. Thank you very much. I'm not interested.
And you look 35.
I love you, man, brother.
I'm looking at a picture of those 35 years ago. Never mind.
Oh, there you go. That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
Gotcha. All right. This last one's going to be good. This last one, if you could have coffee at a firehouse table, and that means any question is asked, any question is answered, with 3 people, they can be deceased or alive. Who would those 3 people be?
Oh, I get 3?
You get 3, Dave.
Oh, holy mackerel. Okay.
I know.
Marcus Aurelius.
Oh, I love that one. Yes.
Jesus Christ.
There you go.
And Hitler.
There you go. You got a lot of different perspectives there.
Well, yeah. I mean, can you imagine Hitler sitting with Jesus Christ and Marcus Aurelius?
Yeah.
Hey, Hitler, what were you thinking, dude?
Yeah. You don't get any more coffee.
I probably should redact that and come back and say, my biological father, because I never met him.
Yeah.
So
I'll give you 4. I'll give you 4.
Yeah. Okay.
But
cool.
Because
I like to bring Dad. I like to see him. I've never seen him. I no pictures, nothing. None of that.
Yeah.
But I made a really good decision about my dad, and I chose to forgive him, and I chose to love him. And I don't know what he was going through when he took his life. Right. Yeah. I have no idea the pain he was going through. I can relate. Yep. So I came really close. So I get that part. But at the end of the day, he did the best he could, and without him, I'm not here.
Yeah. Dave, you're an amazing man, and your passion can be heard through your words. It can be seen through what you do. I appreciate everything that you've given us today. Make sure you go to firewalkadventures.com, find out more, have your company change their lives, have yourself even change your life and go to the academy. So Dave, thanks again for your time today.
Absolutely, my friend. My pleasure, brother. Let's do it again sometime.
Definitely.
Thanks for listening and supporting the Forged in the Fires podcast with Fireman Rob. Remember, don't forget to like and subscribe to this podcast. And please share this episode with a friend or family member. To find out more about Fireman Rob, or if you have a question, go to www.firemanrob.com. Until next time, live your life forged in the fires.